Zombie apocalypse.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is 6 Scale Economist, where we talk about hot toys and what we think about the figure and what we think about it from an investment perspective. Jumping right into it, today we're going to be talking about Count Dooku. So this is a figure that someone in our comment section requested, and one that I've been wanting to talk about for a bit, so I'm glad that we're getting to it. Okay. So retailed for $243, obviously sold out, waitlist full on Sideshow. This figure came out, I think, about a year and a half ago. Sat in stock for a while. So like this figure, like let's just talk about it from a figure standpoint. This is a great figure. This was actually, so this figure was still in stock when I like really got back into collecting hot toys. So call it about six-ish months ago. And I just remember like trying, like, getting back into the game and like taking a look at the hot toys, seeing like what was in stock on Sideshow, like what has like recently been waitlisted, and like what things I missed out on and stuff. And I saw this figure was in stock, and I immediately bought it. I couldn't believe that it was still sitting in stock, and this was just like a no-brainer to me. Like, definitely pick this up at retail. And I know that like obviously hindsight is 2020, but like in the time when I was looking at this figure, I just like knew that this was going to be a great figure, and it's performed very well, which we're going to talk about in a second. But just like from a figure standpoint, I have this one in hand. I'll probably start doing reviews of my actual figures in hand later on in the channel after we get through a lot of these overviews of some of these other figures. But the head sculpt on this figure is definitely probably top 3 that Hot Toys has done in Star Wars. I think it's pretty like well known now that Hot Toys just like absolutely nails old people. And I think the reason why that is like they're not great at doing like, not a shot to like Christopher Lee or anything, but like they're pretty good at doing old people and not so good at doing people who are like generally like attractive characters. Like they like, their Leias are good, but like they haven't totally like nailed it. Like they have, I think that they really haven't nailed Luke. I think that like the best Lukes are like the like sequel like ones where he's more like wrinkly and stuff. But I think that Hot Toys has a lot of trouble getting those younger characters face sculpts right. But old people, like just the way they do wrinkles, like it just makes it so accurate. And that's why like Count Dooku, Grand Moff Tarkin, Director Krennic are what I think are probably the top 3 face sculpts the Hot Toys has done so far. Like this figure is awesome. Like accessories are great. Lightning's awesome. The cloth cape is awesome material, and the way it just flows on him, and the poses you can get him in are great. The saber is obviously awesome. He has that iconic bent saber. The lightning is a little bit long, but like it's still cool. It's like not really going to fit into detolf if you're displaying in a standard detolf, but it's definitely like an awesome accessory. And you get like the holograms, and like the Death Star one, like Hot Toys loves their holograms. Like I don't know if I've ever displayed any of my figures with a hologram. I probably will like eventually, but like not complaining that I get like 8 holograms for every Hot Toy that comes out. I think that was a lot of pictures. So like this figure is a good one to like, although you obviously can't pick it up at retail anymore, this is a good one to look at and try and learn from what happened with this figure. So this figure retailed for $243. It sat in stock on Sideshow for a while. It never got to free shipping, which I have like learned from like observing Hot Toys and Sideshow that like the figures that make it to free shipping sometimes have like a little bit of a higher likelihood to like not perform as well in the secondary market. Although that's not true for everything. Like, and we'll talk about these in future videos, but like the Emperor was an example of a figure that went to like free shipping, and like Bespin Leia I think is still in stock at free shipping, which is such a buy. Like I think I've talked about it in my other videos, but like it is such a buy right now to just pick up that Bespin Leia, because you just have like so much upside with what potentially could be, just like given how other Leias have performed, and like if we get a Bespin Han, which I hope we will, that figure is such a buy with free shipping. Like, I already think it was a buy even before they did free shipping, and now with free shipping I think that you should definitely pick up one or two, one to keep for your collection and one to hold for an investment. But Count Dooku didn't never made it to free shipping. He went, you know, pre-order to in stock, sat in stock for about 6 months. I guess they never really felt the need to put free shipping on him, and then he went out of stock, and then he went waitlist, and now he's waitlist full. This figure retailed for 243. The thing with this figure is we don't have like that many like Sith characters like out. Like we have like Darth Maul, the Emperor. You know, I guess like Jedi type Sith figures, we don't have that many, and so like this figure is just a great figure to pick up because he can go well with so many things, and he has so much potential to rise if anything related to him comes out. Like he has a lot of upside. Like he looks great with Yoda, which is awesome. So like you can, he already has like a great piece to like display him with. But like if they release like episode two Obi-Wan or episode 2 Anakin, like this figure is going to the moon if that happens. Like it's an awesome head sculpt. Like the accessories are great. Like the outfit is great, the fit is great, the cape is awesome. Like this figure already has so much going for it, and so that's why it's already selling on the secondary market like 350. And this is probably only like, you know, I'm filming this in June. This is probably only like a month and a half after this figure went waitlist, and it's already going for selling for 350 on eBay. If you haven't picked one up yet, just do yourself a favor and just pick it up. If you can buy this figure brand new for 300, you know, 310, 315, I think you're going to want to do it now before you start kicking yourself, because it's already a great piece on its own. With Yoda, it's even better. And if they, you know, announce like like I said, episode 2 Obi-Wan, episode 2 Anakin, like this figure is just going to go to the moon. Like this figure can easily be a $500 figure. Especially when it has so many potential counterparties to be displayed with. Now, I know it may sound like I'm kind of reaching, saying, you know, if episode 2 Obi-Wan, episode 2 Anakin come out, but like Hot Toys is a business, and they have seen how well episode 2 and episode 3 Anakin and Obi-Wan have done, so I'm sure it's on their radar to release episode they have seen how well episode 3 Obi-Wan and Anakin have done, so I'm sure it's on their radar to see if about making episode 2 Anakin and Obi-Wan. Obviously, like people like love those figures, like they love Jedi, and so if that's even on their radar, like once those get announced and once those come out, like they're like very highly doubt they're ever going to re-release Count Dooku, so you better just pick one up now if you want one, or you're going to be, you know, kicking yourself when you decide that you do want one when those other figures come out. Yeah, so that's basically it. Just wanted to like talk about Count Dooku. You know, I don't really have like enough good things to say about this figure. Like this is just like a one-off figure that's like not going to be reproduced like ever again. Like I never actually paid attention to this picture. This is interesting. I'm sure that that's just episode 3 Anakin, but you know, what if that is episode 2 Anakin, and they're given like the slightest of hints that like maybe in like 2 years they're going to release it. But this figure is great. They just absolutely knock the head sculpt out of the park, and you just have very little downside with this figure. If you're buying this figure for 300, you just have such little downside. Like there's just some that are obvious. This one is just obviously going to be it's just obviously going to be a $400 figure, probably in like a month and a half. It's already like almost there, and you just like if you can just pick one up brand new for 300, just do it. Like TM Cent is still like the price really hasn't like jumped that hard yet. Like this is kind of like the grace period in limbo where like all of like you know, like the way we talk, you know, like when we talk about like in finance, like you know, when you're trading like a security, like there's a time frame like when like a security is like initially issued where like a lot of people are like buying it, and then there's like a limbo period where there's like we call them like loose securities, like loose bonds, where you can still pick them up here or there, but like once those gets cleaned up and there's like not really any more on the market is just gonna gap to like 400, 420, and it's gonna move quick. So like you want to pick it up in this phase if you don't already have one, or if you're like potentially looking at one for an investment. You know, this one's good to get. Like this is one that like you're gonna want to like you're just gonna like want to pick up and have it in when you do start seeing those Facebook listings of people listing it for like $430 and people are buying it. Um, there's just too many things going for this figure. Anyways, so like just like overall recap. Obviously, I have just talked about like what I think about the figure from a figure perspective, but the main things that you should be focusing on with figures like this is there any risk of resupply? No, this figure is not like that one's like pretty obvious. Like he's just in like the prequels. Like spoiler alert, he dies in episode 3. Like Anakin like beheads him, so like he's not coming back. Like I know Star Wars has like can do like a lot of things like to make people come back. Like I don't think I've seen anybody get like beheaded and then get like a mechanical head put on to like make them like come back in the Clone Wars or something. So like this figure is not getting re-released. It's a very popular figure. Like it's like somewhat unique in that like you don't really have that many options for like just like a straight up like Sith guy. He has like a lot of potential for figures that like can be released to be like paired with him. So you have like a ton of upside, like very little downside, and you still like if you haven't picked this up, you still are in a great window where it's only it's still only $300 brand new. I'm sure you can find one, so it's best to just pick it up now. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you for checking out the channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.